3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Welcome back to the Click to Close podcast.
Who are you?
I'm Travis.
Travis Halverson.
Travis Halverson.
Preston.
You got it. Yeah, can we just need to have a normal one. It's all good though. How's everybody doing today? Nobody can answer because we're not doing this live, so I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me in the studio today. This is great.
So great. In your bedroom.
Oh yeah, the guest bedroom.
So what are we talking about?
We are going to talk about
Something fun.
Which we should have had
Everybody
Nikki in
loves.
here for, but
We should have a picture of it.
we'll just put Nikki. We'll bring her up and we'll just tell her.
Next time, let's bring a picture and put it right there.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna talk about audits. Audits, the thing that everybody needs to be doing. Everybody is afraid of it, but everybody needs to be doing it.
Yes.
I don't know how many of our people we coach and train, everybody that's inside of Digital Maverick, I wonder how many people actually listen to their calls of their agents.
I would say 99.9% do not.
Yeah, I would say.
Maybe not. But it's a
lot.
5%. Yeah.
The people that don't listen to their calls, it's pretty, dude, to be full transparent, I used to do it for AT&T and DirecTV, and I hated every second of it. Because then you cringe every single time they say something stupid. I'm like, why? What in your mind did you think was the necessary time to say that? It's brutal. I don't know.
If you are wondering why your agents aren't selling anything, listen to the calls.
Yeah. Yeah, just go in and spot check. Maybe just pull even your top agent. You know what I mean? Like go in, last call made, and just listen to one of the calls that lasted 2 minutes or more and see what kinds of things they say. Then you'll be like, wow, we have a problem.
He's afraid.
We have a problem. But yeah, no, the power of audit, you know what I mean? Once Nikki came into Digital Maverick and started doing it, it was like, everybody's like, holy shit, we need this. Like, this was huge.
And then some teams are like, I don't really want her to audit. And they don't really understand. So let's talk about when we say audit. Like, some people think like, oh my God, they're going to inspect my whole database and tell me what everything is wrong. That is not what they're doing.
I'd love to do that.
Yes, that's like, when you think about it, like you think of looking at everything.
Yeah.
But that's not what it is. So when we talk about audits that Nikki is doing, what are we auditing?
She is auditing opportunities that have been sent to agents
From an ISA
or DCM, and listening to what happens next. Not only listening, but just seeing the activity. Yeah, checking everything. So whether there was a phone call made, how long it took them to make the phone call, when was the last time it was active, when did the agent reach out after they reached out the first time, like all sorts of things.
How many zeros follow that after?
A lot. There's a lot.
That's the bad.
And that's the bad part. You know what I mean? And to the point though, if there's like a 17-minute phone call, she was listening to those types of calls before and like really listens to the language of sales that the agents are using and kind of they go deep, you know what I mean? She really tries to look at what the agent's saying and like their tonality and like the inflection in their voice and like the up swings and down swings and all that sort of thing just to kind of help the agent get the needle a little bit farther, you know what I mean? So
Hey, you can't have a call like this. Hey, Travis.
yeah. No, we hear those calls all the time.
Do you want to look at the house today?
If they say no, and the agent just says what?
Okay. Let me know. Call me when you're ready to look at a house. I'm always here. I'm always available, but you call me.
You call me.
You let me know. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, you'd be surprised on how many of those calls we have. Like there is a lot, and it's not even just the call, but it's also the fact that it's like for a touch point, right? Like what it tells you what a touch point is. Oh, I made a communication event. I texted someone. It's like, okay, what'd you say in that text? Well, I said if they saw any properties, let me know. Okay, what do you think that is doing? What do you think that's making you stand out? Probably not.
What are you sending them?
Your properties. You're sending them properties. Every single time, if you send any text message or anything, you need to have a link to a property. You have to.
And a website you could use for that.
EasyHomesearch.com.
You could find any property.
If we're not in your area, we're coming there. Don't worry.
We'll be there.
We'll be there. But yeah, no, it really shows you the value that you have to provide to people. If you're sending a text message and it doesn't have a property in it, then you're doing something wrong.
100%. And it's as simple as think about if I'm coming to travishalverson.com, which does not exist, I don't think,
I hope it doesn't.
but and I'm searching for houses. Actually, I'm going to easyhomesearch.com. Only website to search.
Only website to search. There's no other.
And I'm searching for houses. Why must there be anything other houses?
Exactly. Why are you going to ask me how my day is when I...
Look at the houses they're looking at. Send them houses tomorrow.
Exactly.
And the next day.
Exactly.
And the next day.
And the next day.
And keep on.
Until they start sending you back properties. Yeah. Then you got them on the hook. Until they send you a property on their own without you having to initiate that conversation, you don't have them with a client.
Yes.
I fully believe that. Every single person that I've inspected and every database that I look at, the agents that succeed don't let up until they start getting sent properties by that person.
And find out if you have a conversation with them, and I say, hey, I really want a place with a big backyard because I have kids and dogs. I want them to play around in the backyard. You know what I'm sending them?
I'm sending them mobile homes.
I'm finding properties and I'm like, look at the backyard in this photo. Or look at the backyard of this listing. Point out the things they tell you about in those, and they're going to make up, wow, this guy actually listens. He's not just sending me a message and saying, hey, when you find something you like, let me know. I'm always here.
He doesn't just have me on a drip campaign of some sort.
Yes.
Dude, oh my God. Yeah, no, it's actually really frustrating just to see some of these databases that just hopefully get talked to, right? Like they just leave it up to some sort of automation. And it's like I say it all the time, it's like if you have a big database and you have a massive database, you have a lot of leads in your name and you're leaving it up to automation, you're missing people, or you're missing the people that are supposed to be closest to you, right? Or even the people that are farthest out. Like the hottest leads are the ones that you haven't talked to in 90 days because they're probably buying with someone else and not you, right? It's difficult.
So how often would you audit?
I would audit bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly for sure. If there was a good standard, I would audit an agent bi-weekly. I'd put everybody on a 2-week rotation, and I would
every agent.
I mean, if you can, depending on how big your team is, right? But I would say like, all right, we're going to say.
What do you do with those audits? Would you use them as training to train everybody? Would you play them in a group setting?
I think the most value is in a group setting.
So you would.
It's the same thing with John. Your guys just go to the board. That thing crushes it.
Oh yeah, for sure. So you play it in a group setting for all the agents. Use that as a way to train everybody instead of just that one person.
Yeah. Obviously, ask if the agent's okay with you putting it in front of everybody, which, I mean, they should be. If they're not, then they're probably not a really good fit. But ask them if they're okay with it, because it's all a learning experience for everybody, right? And if someone starts to make fun of that person, audit that person's call and just like, let's listen to your fucking call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wait, you don't have it?
Oh, weird. Oh, weird.
What you have is a big zero on board.
Exactly. That's, you know what I mean? It's like, it's all learning. And we talk about it all the time. And Nikki says it even when we do the role plays on Friday. It's like the agents that volunteer or step up to be the example or to be the agent and not the client, or even the client. You know what I mean? Those people are probably succeeding because they're stepping up into that ring and saying, hey, I need to get better. And they're doing it in front of their peers.
I think we have a solution for that soon.
Yeah, because nobody wants to do it.
Yeah,
the thing is,
we'll come audit for you.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to do, though. I mean, and that's what I was basically saying. It's like if I had Chris and you on my team, Monday I'd audit Chris, Tuesday I'd audit you, 2 weeks later I'd audit Chris, and 2 weeks later I'd audit you.
Yep. And
just keep going down that, and just listen to one call. You don't have to listen to 50 calls. Like one call is enough to basically tell you.
As long as, and I think when I talked to Nikki about it, she said she listens to a couple and finds a good one, right? That is a good training. But it's not something where you have to take hours and hours to do. I mean, block out an hour.
Go ahead.
Do one or two, get to that hour, and then use it as training.
Yep. Yeah, we had a great call with the Novaks, and they have an ISA, and basically Nikki asked, she said, hey, have him send me his best call and his worst call this week, and I want to listen to both of them, and then I want to give him feedback on both. I don't want to just look at the negative and just coach him on his negative. I want to look at both and be like, hey, you did great here.
Yeah.
Why didn't you put that into this call? You know what I mean? And it's obviously...
And she does a good job at that. Like she does it, even on the role playing, right? Like she
could crucify people, but she chooses not to.
Yeah. So like the weekly role playing in Digital Maverick, if you're a client, she does that every week. And
if he's on search bi-weekly.
Yes. And she does a really good job. I mean, she points out the positives and points out things that are they can approve on.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's when some people hear audit, like, oh, I didn't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's more to help than it is to hurt your business, and it will help your business, and you will find out why you need more training.
Yeah.
And why some people shouldn't be on the phone.
Yeah, it was interesting because she did a role play with the team on, I think, Monday, and the first thing out of this guy's mouth was, I don't see the value of role play. I don't think I need role play. I think he's just like, everybody needs role play, man. Like,
where was this at?
This was on a call on Monday.
Was it a role play call?
No. It was just a team. It was a team call. It was a team call that like basically was booked for her, and she was like, "All right, like I understand that's how you feel, and like this, but this is a place to get better, no matter what." Like now, I think Nikki has a personal vendetta to go out and find it. like let's listen to this guy's calls and see if he needs role play. No, but that's just not the way she is. She just wants to help everybody do it, and it's like, hey man, if role play's not for you, like that's fine, but like understand that practice definitely does make perfect. Especially when it comes to role play. If you want to try things and say things and like you get coached and helped on it, like now's the time. Instead of trying to do it on a call live when you have a chance and there's thousands of dollars on the line, then here you are just botching calls because you didn't want to take the time to role play.
Perfect practice.
Yep. Perfect practice.
Not just practice.
Practice. Perfect practice.
Yeah.
But I mean, audits, man.
You could practice and just be a shitty ass person doing shitty ass job practicing
all the time.
Just go out there, and I tell my son that to golf. I'm like, you can't just go out there and whack balls, and you actually got to be methodical when you're thinking about getting better at something. So the way you practice and what you're doing when you're practicing, you could just say, yeah, I'm practicing, but not really doing it. Yeah, just playing around. So perfect practice.
It's actually funny because I follow this kid on Instagram who's like day 198 on his way to becoming a varsity basketball player. It's just like, I went back to day one and this kid was awful at basketball. And now he's like day 200 and this kid is crushing it. Like just
perfect practice.
Stop and go threes. Like he's doing all these different drills. I'm like, wow, that is actually methodical. That guy has
perfect practice.
Yeah. And that's which is cool because Nikki goes into every role play with like a whole scenario already built out in her head. Like this is how it's going to be. Yeah. These are what we're going to talk about. And these are the things that she's going to hit on. So yeah, and that's what she does with the audits as well.
And you find a good partner, right? Like you got to find somebody. I mean, if you want to get better, don't, if you're practicing, truly do it to get better. Don't play around and, you got to find a good role-playing partner. If you can't, there's a ton of them online. You can find groups. And
you can even ask us and we will find someone that also wants to. Like
sure.
we can partner you guys up together.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that want
and that's why coaching is so great. And coaching outside of the town or the city you live in.
Yes.
Because it's funny the way things change when you start going outside of the town or the city you live in. People they're just like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? There's so much more, financially when you go outside of where you live, it just opens up so much more opportunity.
Yeah, and you see, like, you think that and it's like the whole mindset of like,
well, you think you're crushing it, and you go into a room and that guy just closed $21 million last month.
You might be a big fish in a small town, but you'd be surprised what else is out
it's
there.
also good to do that. Like when we started Palms, I told Josh and Nick, I was like, y'all need to go to Lake Tahoe to John's event because I want you guys to see what is possible. Because when I told them, I was like, this is.
Was that their first event?
Yeah, I don't know if it was their first event, but I think it might have been. But I told them, I said, y'all need to go to this in person and see what we can do and what is possible in a short amount of time. Because the numbers I was throwing out, they're like, I don't know if they 100% believe me or not, but we were able to exceed those numbers. And it took them going and seeing, that team going from 50 million to 100 million or 50 million to 150 to 200 to 400 over the course of 3 or 4 years to realize what is possible. And you're not going to get that, unfortunately, very often in your own market. Just not going to see it.
Yeah. Nope, it's true. Yeah, it's crazy because you'd be surprised. And it's always what we were talking about on the Digital Maverick call on yesterday. And I think it was Neil. Someone said it was basically like, your success is based off of like what like SOPs and things that you follow. You know what I mean? We'll talk about this in another episode. But like, it's just interesting to me because like those teams are starting to implement auditing, and like you can see that they're getting better just because like when Nikki goes in and audits them, she's showing them, hey guys, this is what I'm looking for. These are the things I look at.
Yeah.
Like implement that, put that in a process or something you guys follow, and like that is going to be huge for your team in the future.
Oh yeah, and agents, they need a system to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, it's chaos.
Oh, very much chaos.
All over the place chaos. So give them, they want more freedom of real estate. All the BS on social media you see that's 99% not true about their success. And you know, that's a total different subject we should tackle sometime. But you know, I think a lot of the problems in real estate are self-inflicted based on what agents share on social media of what real estate is not.
Oh yeah.
Like glamorous, you know, $1 million houses and cars and everything else that all of them have. And 99% of that is not true.
Yeah.
So then it gives the public the perception that every agent is making a fortune. And find a business that the commission or the amount you make is 3% of the total sale. And then the companies only get half of that.
Yeah. No, and it's funny because I think, was it John that posted how many people these things sold? Like a certain amount of volume.
20 million?
20 million. You know, it was like what, like 1% or something?
Yeah,
it's absurd. Like the amount of real estate agents in the industry, how many people actually sold 20 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just insane. But I can tell you that those
20
people,
million though that is a big number.
Oh,
like,
huge.
You know, even at 2.5%, yeah, they're 500,000. They get half that. Maybe they're getting 250. Everything else, expenses. You know, making $200,000 a year, $175,000 a year.
Yeah,
big difference than $500,000.
Oh yeah,
that's what people assume, right? Like, oh, they sold 20 million. He's making $1 million a year. They might be walking away with 250,000.
But you know how many hours went in to get to that 20 million?
Yeah, 80 hours a week.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Not 40. Definitely not 40.
Just said, dude, 80 hours a week times 52.
Oh, but times 52?
Yeah. I'm just wondering if you know.
Wait, how many?
It's all good.
No, I gotta figure this out now. There's a 0 in there, so at one point there'll be a 0 at the end. I know that. 5.
Math is your friend.
8 times 5 is 40.
Yes.
Okay. 8 times 5 is 40.
2
8 times 5 is
2
40.
times 80.
2 times 80 is 160.
Yes. So 4160.
4160.
Oh, we really see.
I don't know actually what that is. Is that 4? Dude, I got a calculator, man.
4,160 hours.
Jeez. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You can't have me doing math like that. That was way too. That is not fair, man.
Should we cut that out?
No, keep that in there because I want people to understand why you need math.
Yeah.
If your kid doesn't like math, this is the outcome. If your kid doesn't like math.
Well,
Long nights with my mom at a dinner table with her just like, what are you doing?
You grew up with a calculator.
Well, no, because they're like, you don't get this on a test. I'm like, well, we have a problem then. Yeah, bad times. But anyway, audit your database.
Audit your database.
At least bi-weekly. If
At
anything,
least.
and you're spread
If
thin.
you're smaller, if you're a small team, once a week.
Yeah, if you're a small team, once a week. If you're a bigger team, that needs to be a hire. Like, you need to hire someone to do that.
Yeah.
So.
And audit train before you turn loose, because that could be why your conversion is in the total.
100%.
Until next time.
Until next time.
We'll be here.